What we're looking at today is we're looking at putting rattles in soft plastic lures. I've got prawns, I've got all sorts of stuff. We're going to try all heap of different rattles. We're going to get it on the water and test them. But also hang around to the end of the video because I'm going to show you how to actually put rattles in soft plastics. It's really easy. But we're also going to get underwater and do some noise testing and see if rattles in soft plastic lures even works. Let's get after them. So today I'm out on the water with Frenchy.
Hey.
And what we're going to test is we've got the Rattle-Snaker, which is a Z Man product that's actually got little glass rattles that you can inject into your soft plastics. So I'll show you these little glass chambers. Z Man's not the first one to do this, are they, mate?
No, it's DOA, I think, originally.
DOA, the old DOA prawn. Yeah. So I don't know if you can see that real well, but it's a little tiny glass chamber with 2 ball bearings in it. I'll do a zoom in shot to show you, so you'll see it here now. It's a tiny little thing, but how you inject them in is you've got this needle. The needle goes into the plastic, and then you put the glass tube down there and inject it into the plastic. So at the end of the video, I'll show you exactly how we do it and a couple of different options for different plastics. But today, because we're going to test them, oh, by the way, you can get spare rattles as well. Because we're going to test them, Frenchy's going to be the rattler, and I'm going to run them without any rattles. So we're going to use exactly the same lure, exactly the same jig head, a 1/4 ounce 4.0 TT jig head, and we're going to fish in exactly the same water. And I think we're both similar as fishermen. Yep. This bloke fished his whole life. I've fished my whole life. Ex-tackle store owner from Darwin, so he's been there and done that. What's going to catch more fish, the rattle or no rattle?
Got to be a rattle.
I reckon it might be the rattle. Yeah, I love a bit of rattle, but I'm happy to go no rattle. Yeah. So see how we go.
Let's go. Keep him out of the coral.
Well, that's a pod. Bigger than the others. There's a rattler.
One for the rattle. Gold spot cod. There she is, all the way down his throat. And it right at the side of the boat. Those little cods, eh?
Oh.
You can lose so many lures to them.
And tuskies.
And tuskies, yeah.
Cods and tuskies is hard to get out of there.
Yeah, right out of the Get the size of it.
Yeah. Be ashamed of yourself.
I am ashamed.
So after giving those, what the Z Man diesel minnows, wasn't it, we were using, we couldn't really separate what caught more fish and what didn't. So we're back out for day 2. We're using a Z Man lure again, but this time it's one of the grubs in midnight oil. And you've got a rattle?
Rattle.
I've got no rattle.
No rattle.
We're starting back where we were the first day, because if you're wondering why the footage looks a bit funny from the first day, I lost all my audio because there was a speed issue with the camera. So I fixed the camera up, but we are going to chase some barra today. We're going
to have a look.
So we're going to have another look here because the sun's just coming up. Your rattles?
Rattles.
I'm no rattles.
Game on.
Let's do it. Well, he's actually got a, what's that with him? No, I didn't think it was a cod. Might have been. 3 cod to nil back at that other spot, which is.
I got one.
Oh, you got one?
You got one, yeah.
Well, that's still even Stevens, if you ask me. It's not like I'm slaying them, you're not. But we're back on the shads, and you're rattling again. I'm not rattling, and we've got a little point here. We usually catch some barra on. So fingers crossed today we're going to catch a few barra. We'll
catch a few barra.
We'll catch a barra. Anyway, we'll go and get some barra. We'll see. No rattle versus rattle. See what wins. I don't even know if it's barra, is it? That's a little fella. Oh, it's a little barra. Yeah. Nice. Not tiny. Little fella. What happened, Frenchy?
Got done.
Yeah, got annihilated, not by barra.
Might have been a barracuda.
Yeah. Jeez.
Wasn't quick enough.
No, he's a good fish. He's a great fish. Look at that. The rattler. Oh. Oh, that's a nice barra. Geez, they're good fish out there, aren't they? Where you going, buddy? Where you going? That's the boat. I'll go that way. There you go. Yeah, he's going all right. Oh.
Killed you?
Must have been that dodgy leading one.
The knot's up here.
I don't know if the camera's able to pick that up all that well, but you can see our nice smooth fishing line there. And it runs through their gills. Or if he had it down his throat, it could run around his mouth. And yeah, 40-pound leader. Popped it. Mate, we're giving him a fair nudge, and you got the biggest barra, but I actually got a little one to the boat, or a little one in the boat, big one to the boat, and dropped another one without the rattle. So we saw 4 barra and 3 came on the no rattles, but that's not by any stretch of the imagination a comprehensive experiment, is it?
No, not at all.
Would you after the last couple of days, all the fish we got on the rocks and all the fish the few fish we got here chasing barra, would you still use rattles or would you not bother with them?
I think it adds an extra dimension to the plastic, so I mean, yeah, you'd definitely give it a try again. I'd definitely keep persisting with it, I think.
What I would too. But I think what a lot of anglers get wrong is that because our eyesight is our dominant sense, we think fish hunt lures down with their eyes. That's why we're always buying lures that look like fish instead of lures that look like this.
Yeah.
But you know, fish are honing in on vibrations and sounds and stuff like that in the water, and that's why rattle lures been around for so long, because they work so well.
Yeah.
So, but you were saying that some days, even in corroboree, rattle lures don't work at all, and you've got to go to silent.
Go to silent ones. We got special ones made up with no rattle, like little looses made out without a rattle.
Yeah, isn't that
for that reason? Just to, you know, because the Nils Master Spearhead was always a
which is a timber lure that's
got no rattle. Yeah.
So the conversation Frenchy and I had was really about, are we going to use them, even though they don't seem to make any difference? And we decided that, yeah, we probably will. Like a rattle in a soft plastic lure does make a difference. See, fish aren't really using their eyesight as their main sense. They're using things like smell and vibration and noise to hone in on where there might be some prey. And it's only that last minute that they actually see the prey that they use their eyesight. So eyesight really doesn't come into it. So to put a rattle into a lure actually makes a lot of sense. As you can see, Frenchy and I couldn't really separate them. We even went out of a night time, and check this out. We're out fishing of a night, and in the darkness, we're trying to see if the rattle works better at night as opposed to day. Look, we got a barra each. We've got a couple other bits and pieces. We didn't really brain them on the rattlers or the non-rattlers. He's tiny, but that's still a no rattler. And we've only got one other fish, haven't we? Tarpon to the rattler. Barra.
Yep.
Any rattle in there?
No rattle in there.
No rattle.
No.
So, how do they work? Let's first look at how to put a rattle into a soft plastic. It's really easy. This Z Man adapter here comes in two parts. We'll take that little cover off the needle. It's got this needle bit, and it's got a little metal tube that actually pushes through that needle. So you actually put the needle into the lure, put a rattle chamber down the hole into that needle, and then you can just push that rattle chamber out. And I pinch it with my fingers as I slide the needle out, and it locks it into place. That's the little glass rattle chamber right there. And all we do now, I'm going to put this down near the tail of the lure, because when this thing swims, the tail rattles back and forth, and that's just going to get the rattle going. So for my preference, it's right down near the tail. So I'm just going to put that needle through the soft plastic. And these Z-Mans aren't the easiest to push through, because they're a really, really tough type of material. But that's pushed through there. So now the rattle chamber. And it's got a pointy end as well. You can see that there. It's got a round end and pointy end. The pointy end goes straight down that tube. Then I push it down with that little rod, and like I said, I just pinch it with my fingers as I slide that needle out, and that plastic now, don't know if you can hear it, has a rattle in it, and the rattle's down near the tail, so it really should get a bit of a noise happening. Now I also did it with a prawn lure, but like I said, you can see there's a bit of a tear in that prawn lure, and that rattle came straight out. One thing that Frenchy mentioned while we were fishing, which was a really good idea, is to put a rattle in a vibe lure. So let's have a bit of a play with that. I haven't experimented with this at all yet, but let's get the vibe lure out and see, is it going to be easy to put a rattle in this vibe? Now I've got a nice clear one here. This is a Zurich fish trap. It's a 95mm fish trap, I think. But I wanted to push this needle through. Let's see if I can get a rattle in this thing. Push that needle through into the fish trap. The fish trap's a lot harder plastic than the old Z Man, I can tell you. But the needle's gone through. That okay? I've got some spare rattles. They come in a little packet of spares, so put that in the top, pointy end down, get my push rod, push it out. Now you can probably see that coming out into the lure there. You can see the little rattle balls, and I'll pull that out. And now you can see next to the wire, I have a little rattle chamber. And let's see if that works. Now, what I want to do is I want to put these in the swimming pool, not to see him swim or anything like that. And I do apologize for the footage. It isn't great, but I'm not worried about the footage. I just wanted to get an idea of how good the sound is. So what I wanted to do was find out if this rattle, because even though I've got a rattle in there, I don't know if you can hear that at all. It doesn't make a real lot of noise. The rattle in this guy, he makes a fair bit of noise, but it's also got trebles and split rings and everything hanging off it as well. So they're probably rattling also. I did swimming pool test a DOA prawn with a rattle in it too, but I threw a hard body in there. Now, a standard Helco hard body, rolling it back through the swimming pool, you can hear how loud it actually does rattle. It rattles a whole heap because they're actually got a hollow chamber in them that actually creates the rattle. So hard body lures are really loud. But these guys, well, let's throw them around the swim pool and let's see what happens. So you can see that hard body lure came back and was just rattling its tits off. So that is a really, really loud rattle that's going to attract a lot of fish. So we'll see how we go with the little DOA prawn, see how that guy goes. So the DOA prawn had a bit of a click to it, so that wasn't too bad. But like I said, the rattle chamber fell out of the lure pretty easy, which was maybe user error too. Maybe I was just shit at putting the rattle chamber in there. But that had a little bit of a click to it. Let's see how we go with the Z Man diesel minnows. So that's a fair bit of plastic and it's got a rattle buried deep into it. Let's see if we get much noise out of him. Let's check him out. So that really did quite surprise me. When I just did a normal slow roll, these things didn't rattle too much at all. But when you actually put a bit of action into them and you twitch it, that rattle chamber really does give off a really loud click, which is good for a pretty thick lure. So look, I did put them through some editing software and I did increase the volume and I did bring out the little tick sounds by adjusting some of the filters in it. But that's fish here underwater a whole lot better than what we do. So fish are going to pick up on that. The fact that we didn't really see any difference between the rattles and no rattles when we tested them means that it's kind of inconclusive. But, you know, if you want to improve some of your lures and you want to give rattling a go, I would still tend to use these. I haven't ridden them off. I'm going to keep them in my tackle box. And when fishing's a little bit slow, I might put a rattle in there and see if it changes. So, look, I wouldn't rush out to buy them. They're not the be-all and end-all. They're not making a massive difference to fishing. But if you try them, let me know how you go. And let me know if you like a rattle or you don't like a rattle. Because, to be honest with you, I'm going to still use them. But I really don't know if they're worth the money yet. But let's give them another crack.